Hey guys, this is part delta of the mobility stability program. So this one we're going to use either a lacrosse ball or some form of block apparatus to get into the calf and the gastrocnemius. So now I'm going to have to do this in multiple segments so you guys can see what I'm doing, but basic premise, we're working the lower leg and then we're going to stabilize the lower leg, so in that calf and ankle region. So here, check it out. So we're going to take our lacrosse ball, I'm going to set it on the ground here, and we're just going to put it kind of the mid ball, and then we're going to lean into there to get that calf all stretched out. So I'm kind of pushing forward, and I'm pushing forward at my knee and my hip, okay? I'm not just bending at the knee. So that way I get deep into that gastrocnemius, or the back of the calf, okay? And I can kind of shift the ball around a little bit and get a little bit better stretch if I need to. Kind of wrap my toes around the ball, kind of curl around there, get deeper into that stretch. This is great for women that wear high heels all the time. If you have a lot of lower leg pain, if you've got really plantar fasciitis, it's a good one for plantar fasciitis. So now you can take your shoes off if you want. Mine are pretty flimsy in there, but I'm just trying to mobilize this section in here and get into the ankle real good. So you should feel that calf stretch out real good in there as you're doing these bad boys. Really nice. So now we're going to come over and we're going to actually roll out the calves and the anterior tibs with a foam roller. So I've got my roller. I'm going to get down on the ground and I'm going to roll those calves out real good. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to get all of the meat in there. Okay. So rolling out the calf real well. Get some of those knots dug out of there. So again, I don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. If you've got a lot of knots in there, you can spend more time. If you got a few knots, just spend a little time on there. Got a knot. So now, the other section we want to hit is the anterior tibs, which is going to be on the outside edge and this little muscle in here. So we're going to have to roll over and get into those a little bit, kind of on the side, and then just kind of roll across that muscle tissue in there. Now this is generally really tight in runners or anybody that's doing any sort of explosive jumping, but you know, everybody can have tight tibialis anterior. So we roll those out. Deep into that tissue. And it's going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to feel so much better once you're done. So now we're going to just do a little calf raise. So now, as you can see in here, I've got a little foam block down here. I'm just going to use that for some calf raises. I'm just going to stabilize. I'm going to try to get as much range as possible out of those calves. So I get a little stretch at the bottom, and then I drive up, I stabilize. Okay, I'm going to do about 20 reps on each leg. That's my stability component. So you can use a step, you can use anything that's going to raise that toe up so you can get a nice stretch out of the back of that leg. Think about coming up on your on your big toe and then standing up on that big toe. And then come down, good stretch, drive back up. So now our last one for the lower leg is just going to be a little foam pad stability, which we'll see right here. All right, so now you don't have to use a foam pad for this one. You can go off the floor, but the foam pad just adds that extra little tactile sensation of me having to balance through here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tap my toe both front, side, and back. And this is going to get all those little stabilizers in your knee and your ankle and your hip firing. You're going to try to keep your core braced up real strong. And you can kind of get a little deeper and deeper into this motion depending on how you feel, okay? Now this is really going to challenge your stability and your balance. So maybe your coordination too. So just light little taps. Okay, remember we're trying to keep this as a weighted leg, okay? I'm going to do about 10 on one side and then I'm going to switch. I'm just going to repeat the process on the other leg, okay? You might have one leg that's a little bit less balanced than the other one. Okay? So now as you do them, as you get better, try to reach out a little further and a little further. So at one point, you'll be almost able to hinge at those hips all the way over and keep that one leg fully supported. super intensive on the balance. So that's our stability component for Delta, the mobility and stability program.